If you want to pass your CeMAP exams first time, you are in the right place. I'm Charlotte and I've helped hundreds of students get CeMAP qualified first time round with their exams. And in this video, I'm going to walk through the exact strategy that my students use to go from feeling overwhelmed to passing with confidence, even if you haven't studied in years. And here's the truth. CeMAP isn't as hard as everybody thinks, but the content is huge. So if you are sitting with a CeMAP textbook right now, you might be feeling overwhelmed, and that is a pretty common response. And what happens is most people get the CeMAP textbook, they look at the size of it, and they stop. But the good news is that you don't need a degree in finance. You don't need a history of working in financial services. Your math skills don't have to be that great. What you need to be able to get over the line with your exams is a plan. Now, before you start revising, you need to know exactly what you're up against. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a breakdown of each exam. So to get your entire CeMAP qualification, you need to sit 3 exams: CeMAP 1, CeMAP 2, and CeMAP 3. The good news is all 3 of them are multiple choice. So you will be presented with a question and then you will get 4 possible answers to choose from. CeMAP 1, for a lot of people, is the toughest one. But again, it's multiple choice. It's split into 2 halves, but you will sit them both at the same time. And you need 70% in each half to be able to pass. If for whatever reason you were to pass Unit 1 but fail Unit 2, you could do a resit and just resit the half of the exam that you passed. CeMAP 2 is exactly the same. You have 100 multiple choice questions to work with. You need 70% overall to be able to pass, and you have to pass each unit. Now, currently, the CeMAP qualification for CeMAP 2 is split into 4 units. That's due to change. So you might be watching this video and you might already know that now it's 2 lots of 50 questions for CeMAP 2. And then CeMAP 3 tends to be the tougher one for most. People freak out with CeMAP 3 because they read that it is case study based. And yes, that is true, but that does not mean that you have to write a case study. What that means is that you are going to be presented with case studies and be asked questions around the information that you've got in front of you. And what that means is that can you apply the knowledge that you've learned from the textbook in a real life scenario? That's what they're looking for. Once you've passed all 3 exams, that's when you get your CeMAP qualification. The study plan that I tend to give to my students depends on which way they are studying. So if you are planning on just studying with the textbook, the first thing that I'll say is it absolutely can be done. You've just got a little bit more work to put in. So generally speaking, you need around 60 hours of study to be able to get through just CeMAP 1 with the textbook. And this is the process that I want you to follow. So I want you to have the textbook in front of you and set a 15-minute timer. And I want you to read for 15 minutes. Now, everybody's reading style or reading time will be different. Some people might get through 5 pages because remember, the textbook is huge. Some might get through 10 or 15 pages. At the end of your 15-minute timer, you're going to stop and you're going to start again. So go back to the page that you started on, but this time you're going to have a highlighter in your hand. So for the second 15-minute timer that you'll set, you will just go through the same information that you read, but you'll highlight anything that you feel is important. And you're just going to do that for another 15 minutes. And when that timer stops, you're going to set one last 15-minute timer. This means that you're going to be doing no more than 45 minutes of study at a time. And what you're going to do in this instance is copy what you have highlighted over onto flashcards, because flashcards are the single best way to help you study if you are just using the textbook. You can get friends, family members, or colleagues to test you with these flashcards, and it is the best possible thing that you can do. Now, once you've gotten through the entire textbook with this method, the last step is to put your knowledge into practice. And the best way to do this is to get your hands on some mock exam papers. Now, you can download some papers directly from the LIBF website. You can access some online. You can purchase some from other places. The ones I personally would recommend are the LIBF ones, and that's because the wording is going to be very similar to the exam that you will actually sit. Once you've been practicing these mock exams and you are looking at consistently 80% plus marks, at that point, I'd say you're ready to sit your exam. So you're looking at around 60 hours of study in total. If it is that you're using something like my e-learning platform, you can expect to cut that study time around about in half. And that's because instead of reading from a textbook, I've given you video files, I've given you audio files, I've even given you all of your flashcards that you can download and print off. So I have saved a huge amount of time, as well as giving you exam style questions that you can practice and have a go at as well. It is all about working smarter as opposed to harder. And if it is that you're on a bit of a deadline, you can look at something like my 6 weeks to CeMAP course, where over the space of 6 weeks, you will work directly with me. We will work together for 2 hours a week, and I will give you some effectively homework to do every week. So we will get together on week 1. I will set a plan for the next week. We will then get together on the second week, and so on. By the end of the 6 weeks, you will be ready to sit your exams, and you will already have those booked in because that's a week 1 activity. So if you need to get CeMAP qualified in a hurry, I will link course dates to the 6 weeks to CeMAP course in the comments. So finally, if you want my best advice, here it is. Number 1, book your exam date early. It'll give you something to work towards and it should motivate you. Number 2, try and stick to a daily study habit. If daily isn't convenient for you, at least make it weekly, because it's the same as going to the gym. The first couple of times you do it, it's not going to feel super comfortable. You're not going to love it, but if you can make it a habit, it will make it so much easier than just sporadic studying with no exact end date. Number 3, make mock exams your best friend. As I mentioned, you need to make sure you're getting at least 80% across those mock exam papers before you're ready to sit your CeMAP exam. And finally, don't panic if you get questions wrong. The entire process is a learning process. Getting your CeMAP qualification is not actually the end goal. The end goal is to become a mortgage advisor. So it is just another step in the process. Don't be too hard on yourself. And remember, these textbooks are not for the faint-hearted. So if you're serious about getting CeMAP qualified, make sure that you check out 12 hours worth of completely free CeMAP study material, including video files, audio files, and exam style questions, which I will link below in the comments. You don't need to put your bank details in. There is no expiry date on that access. Go and check it out, and good luck with your studies.